Party people, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are working on a layout for Ali Edwards, and I'm making an insert in my February project life for using the April Stories by the Month kit. It's kind of weird using a April kit to document February, but I'm working currently, like I'm working in order, so when kits come, the good thing about Ali's kits is, yes, a lot of it is spring themed, so there's things like spring stories, April memories, spring cleaning, but there's also just enough in these kits that you can tell a regular story with them. They aren't all thematic. So here's a good card. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. That's not thematic. Grow. There's always time for growth. And then there's a card about a theme. And this one says April. Garden updates if you're gardening. One little story you can use at any time of year. I love this. Transitions, finding the beauty. This is 100% going to be going into my Project Life spread when I finally finish February. Something magical happens when you sift through the shadows of your story for glimpses of love and light. Can we cover our whole lives in this and just call that good? That's perfect. So what I decided to do was make an insert in my February Project Life. I just finished my January Project Life. That video is up on my channel if you haven't seen it. And then here is a peek at the chipboard. So it has things like on this April day an egg hunt, but then it has things like finding me, does it spark joy, which is 100% about cleaning. I probably need to Marie Kondo my life. And there are cardstock. I was like, did I lose them? They're cardstock stickers that are just circles and say things in the color palette. So what I decided to do was I kept coming back to this piece that said routines. And there's also a stamp in the stamp set that says routines, and I kept coming back to that. So I decided to tell a story about one of the new routines of February. And now that I'm out of school, I have a lot more time for crafting and for making and for sharing with you guys, if you haven't noticed, because there's been a video almost every day on my channel. I am nuts. But there's just been so much more time for making, and honestly making feels good for me, so I love having the time to do this. And so I had this picture I actually took in March, so it's not exactly a February picture, but it is a February story that I wanted to tell. So it's just a picture of me at my desk doing what I do best, which is I was probably editing a video or something in this picture. And then I have a few pictures that I have, I like to take shots of my desk while I'm working. So I have a few pictures of my desk in the month of February off of projects that I've made. And you've probably seen all these projects at this point because it's March. So you've probably seen all these projects. So I have this page protector that is the 4x6 and then the 2x2s at the bottom. I want to put 2 3x4 cards on the top. So I'm actually just going to, after I make the cards, stick it down to a piece of copy paper that's 4x6. And the other thing I want to do is ink these wood veneer pieces. So I'm probably going to do that first because that's going to help me decide what I do next. I'm just going to push that all outside and get my craft mat. So there is a hot pink in the kit, and then there's like this blue color. So I'm going to ink the routines in the hot pink. And ink the Love This in Mermaid Lagoon. So this is Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide, and I have Mermaid Lagoon. I want to do this first because this does need a few minutes to dry before I can stick it to my page. And you'll see the Distress Oxides. I've seen some people ask how you can ink the wood veneers. You can definitely paint them with acrylic paint, but the Distress Oxides give you a really good color saturation really, really fast. And I'm just using one of these tiny blending brushes that I got off of Amazon to ink this, and I'm just kind of doing a bouncing motion. You don't even need to like really blend it. You can just kind of dance it on the wood veneer piece, and you get like, there you go. That is one layer of color. So I'm going to do a second layer of color and do the blue ones, and I will be right back. Okay friends, so I'm back. So I have my inked wood veneer titles. The blue worked perfectly. It is a little bit more teal than the blue in the kit. And if I could do this again, I probably would have used Weathered Wood instead of Mermaid Lagoon now that I'm looking at it, but I kind of like the pop of color. So it doesn't mind me that it's not the perfect shade. But the pink is almost pretty spot on. So I'm going to work on my card. I was really inspired by this card that said routines currently happening around here, but I didn't want to use the orange, and there's a stamp set. So what I did was I just typed my journaling on a 3x4 canvas in Photoshop and printed it out and left myself space across the top to do some stamping. So I'm going to grab, I think I want to use the pink on this side since there's going to be so much blue. So I'm going to grab Rose Garden, and I think I'm going to use Otter Rock. Okay. Yeah, that feels good. All right, so what I'm going to do is stamp routines and then stamp one little story of life right now, and we'll see how that goes. So I think I'm gonna put my subtitle first, just so I can make sure that I have my title exactly where I want it to be. So I'm gonna put the one little story of right now down first, and then I'm going to stamp the routines, which is my title. So we'll see how this goes. So I primed my stamp on the back of my hand like I normally do. I have my Stamper's Secret Weapon. Every time I talk about this silly thing, I always forget what the name of it is, and I use it all the time, so you think I would remember. Okay, so let's go. I'm just gonna go stamp one little story of life right now. That is not perfect. Oh, this always happens that I prime my stamp and I get a really good impression and then I go on my card and it's not perfect. That's because I didn't ink it up well. That's my own fault, not anybody else's. But I'm not reprinting this, so it is staying like that. And then I'm gonna grab the routines and we're gonna stamp that right over top. This is a larger stamp, which is why I wanted to put the gray down first. I honestly don't know how I did that. Okay. Also, this way I can make sure that it fits around my subtitle. That's the other reason I did the subtitle down first, so I could position this where I want it. All right. This is actually a little too hot pink. I don't think I'm going to use this ink. Never mind. Guys, I'm going to go find another ink. I'll be right back. So I pulled out my archival ink in magenta hue, which is a little bit more of a fuchsia color and less of the coral pink that Rose Madder is. Rose Madder. It's called Rose Garden. It's not called Rose Madder. Just because the colors in, like the color that I inked my routines in and the colors in the stickers are not that shade of pink. So I just swapped it out for this shade of pink, and let's see how that looks. Okay, that worked out perfectly. So here is my journaling card. It's not really a title card. I don't have a title card because this is going in my project life, but here is my journaling card. So I have routines, one little story of life right now. I have that blue, and now we're just going to start assembling. And then I got to figure out how I want to embellish this. So I'm going to put down my, I kind of want to put some pink on this because this is just blue and this is pink. So I kind of want to figure out, I might use some of these circles. Maybe. Okay, so I think what I might do is put these circles down and then cut off some of the rest of it. Let's see how that looks. Okay, well, it doesn't look great because the nurture wasn't straight. All right, here we go. This is what I get for experimenting, but the nurture wasn't straight down on the sticker, so when I trimmed it off, it looked completely crooked. So let's see if I got it better this time. Okay, there we go. So I got it. So I have that pink, that little pink that says nurture. I'm going to put the other half of this one on the top because you know I like to do things in groups of 3. So I'm just going to pop the rest of this up here. Waste not, want not. And then I'm going to grab this pink one that says right now and do the same thing. Now, hopefully I get this one straight the first time. Let's see. Okay, so that one was straight the first time. Okay, and I like that pink so much more next to the pink of my title card. So I'm gonna just glue that onto this 4x6 piece, slide it into the pockets, and I will be right back. Okay, so that is in the pocket. I like that pink with this pink so much more. So we're just gonna keep assembling. So I'm just going to use some Scotch quick dry glue in my fine line bottle to glue this routines piece on to my photo. Normally when I was doing wood veneer, I'd use something like red line tape, but this is just, it's such an intricate piece that I feel like with the red line tape, it's gonna show through, and it would just be easier to use glue. Now you can use your rolling adhesive if that's what you want to do. I just chose to glue it down, and I'm using my T-square to kind of make sure that it is straight. And then I'm going to put a piece of chipboard underneath it. Let's see which one of these work. I kind of like this blue one just so I can carry the blue from the left side to the right side. So I'm just going to pop this blue chipboard right underneath. I'm just going to use this to help me put it down straight. So I'm not going to bother with my T-square. Let's see. That feels, yeah, that's pretty straight. Okay. So that is pretty much this side of the page done. Like, that was not anything terribly difficult. I am going to work on the, do I want to add a few cardstock stickers over there? See, if I add cardstock stickers, then I got to add 3 of them. So that's the downside. Is if whatever I add, I got to add 3. I have this Love This. I have this green Fresh Start. And I have this, which one works? I could do this one that says Bloom. But where do I want to put them? Never mind. I'm not going to mess with these right now because I don't know what I want to do with them. So I'm going to finish the spread and then decide if I want to embellish. That's what I'm going to do. Because I kind of want to do the same thing I did here, which is put a few of the circles and have them be cut off. I'm doing it because I want to do it and I'm being indecisive. I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to put a few of these circles the same way I did on the other side. There's 3 circles that I pulled out and cut them off the same way I did on the other side. Okay, so I'm really glad I did that because I think the pop of color works really well against this large black and white photo. And then I have that repeated. That makes me feel good. You know how I am about repeating elements. So I'm just going to slide these pictures into my pockets. And like I said, the photos are of desk shots. I share a lot of these in my Insta stories. I like to share like little peeks at what I'm working on. And there's no real rhyme or reason as to where I'm putting these. I'm just trying to vary the color. I use a lot of pink in my scrapbooking. So like I'm trying to avoid putting two pink pieces right next to each other. That's the only thing I'm doing when I'm slipping these in. These are just 2x2 pictures. Like I said, I went through my phone and printed this out. I printed this whole thing on matte photo paper because I like to print my journaling cards on matte photo paper, and I just printed the photos at the same time. And then my plan is to just put this Love This right here. And I think that is going to, for the most part, complete the page. After I put my title down, I'm going to add maybe a little bit more chipboard. We'll see. Maybe I'll add a little bit more chipboard on top of this. So I'm putting this on top of the page protector right now, which, you know what I just realized? That is going to make it really difficult to put something on the back side of this when I'm working on my January spread. That literally just hit me, that is going to be, it's going to make it a little bit challenging to put something on the back side of this spread, but it is already stuck down and I'm not changing my mind on the design for this page, so we are going for it, and I will deal with that when it happens. I'm sure I can come up with something to do to figure out what to do with this. Okay, so that is my title stuck down. And I think I'm just going to put Found Beauty Today. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right on top. And we're just repeating the same element. So I have the wood veneer and chipboard over here. I'm going to put the wood veneer and the chipboard on this side. I don't think I need my T-square. I'm going to go for it. Famous last words, I don't need my T-square, as I put everything down crooked and ruin it all. But let's see. No, that's pretty straight. All right, so I think that is my complete spread. This is, again, going to be an insert in my February Project Life spread. I really like how this looks out. It came out. I like the colors. I like the journaling. I love this card. There's nothing in nature that blooms all year long, so don't expect yourself to do so either. That is a perfect card for me as a person. I'm a type 3, if you're familiar with the Enneagram, which means I need to like do all the things all the time. And sometimes you just need a reminder to look at things and say, hey, I'm doing a lot and it's okay for me to take a break, which is totally what I'm getting from this. I have new routines and it's okay for time, for growth, and for pausing and for changing. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this spread. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're so inclined. Let me know if you are a subscriber to the Stories by the Month kit and what you do with your pages in the comments. And that's all I have for you. So till next time, keep it crafty and have the best day, and I will see you around. Bye!